firearms and road flares. After the city realized that MOVE had no real firearms, MOVE claimed that the city began twisting parts of their agreement. The main point that was disputed between MOVE and the city was the 90-day agreement. MOVE claimed that they agreed to the city finding them a new home within a 90-day working timetable. The city claimed that the 90-day agreement was a deadline where MOVE must leave their house or be evicted by the city.
I think that the perception was that MOVE would leave, but I must be honest and tell you that it may not have been as clear as that was clearly stated, right, as that, which then left a window of opportunity for either side to make claims.
Right. Yes, he said, we will drag them out by the scruffs of their necks. He answered that question.
Wait a minute. Did you ask him what if they resist the scruff of the neck? Did you make him go down in detail to say, well, yeah, if they resist, I'm going to kill them? Did you make him put out his intentions? No. You don't never question Rizzo. And Rizzo is questionable. That man ain't told the truth since he got in office. That man ain't been agreeable since he got the name of mayor. We're saying it's about time that y'all start putting the truth. Don't question the person that's telling the truth. Question the person that's telling the lie. We're saying we ain't talking about hurting nobody's religion. We ain't talking about killing off nobody's religion. Rizzo is talking about religion persecution. He's talking about putting us in a gas oven. He's talking about killing our babies, genocide like they did the Indians, like they did the Jews. We're saying it's about time that the news media start questioning Rizzo's reference.
Neighbors' complaints about MOVE collecting stray dogs and walking the dogs through the neighborhood, right? And at various hours of the night, they complained about the compost that MOVE had built in their yard.
So this was, first of all, a sympathetic neighborhood. But nonetheless, there was an antagonism between MOVE and its neighbors that was real.
And then I think the other piece was it moved in terms of its message, would not only take its message to the street, but would have a loudspeaker system on its home.
MOVE was also very in your face from get-go, and that's legitimate. But there's a certain point where the law starts saying that foul language publicly is against the law. And then the occupation of the building was also against the law, so there's just provisions for that.
On August 2nd, 1978, Judge Fred DeBona ruled that MOVE had disregarded the 90-day deadline and that they should have vacated the house. During this hearing, DeBona gave the city the power to arrest basically all known adult MOVE members, including members that weren't in the house. On August 8, 1978, hundreds of cops in flak jackets and riot helmets surrounded MOVE headquarters to carry out Judge DeBona's ruling.
They came on August 8th, with bulldozers and tanks and anti-personnel carriers, and, they assaulted.
45 police then entered the MOVE household and searched all 3 floors of the house, only to find MOVE barricaded in the basement. Around 8 a.m., firemen pried off the boarded windows of the basement and started flooding the basement with water cannons.
2,500 gallons of water per minute or something like that. It's just too much for anybody to stand up.
The water that was coming in the basement was so strong, it was taking the bricks out the wall. First it was taking the paint off, it was busting up things, then it was taking the bricks out the wall, man.
It was a consensus by a majority of the people there that the shot was fired from up the street.
And I heard a shot, what sounded like a shot, from the left and behind me near Pearl Street. And I immediately dropped to the ground, right, because I just assumed all hell was going to break loose.
There's lots of shots being fired. The shots don't seem real. That's what's funny. It just doesn't seem real.
The police started shooting in. They started shooting tear gas into the property. There was allegations that MOVE was in the basement shooting out.
After a short period of shooting, Officer James Ramp was found fatally wounded. After exiting the house, all 12 MOVE adults were arrested, and the 11 MOVE children in the house were taken away from their parents by the police.
Little by little, I think the women came out first, women with the babies. But then I see Chucky Africa comes out, and he's shot in his shoulder. And I'm rushing to go to him as a cop takes a gun and puts it to his head and pulls back a hammer, and I grab his hands. Whoa, what are you doing here? Right?
There had been much concern on the part of many people that the police would make a violent assault on the MOVE members. As it turned out, the police acted with precision and restraint.
Unfortunately for the police, the beating of Delbert Africa was caught on camera.
I went to exit the basement after a cop stuck his gun in the window, and is plainly seen on the later police videotape. And he told me, "Bring your black ass out here." And I said, "I'm going out the front. Come out this way, I'll blow your damn head off." Boom. Obviously, I came out that way. And the next thing I remember was being dragged across Pearl Street by my hair by some cop. I don't know who. And then when they dragged me, got me up on the curb, then a bunch of them just started kicking.
Geist, Mulvihill, and Zagami were all brought up on charges of police brutality a few years later, but Judge Stanley Kubaki dismissed the case.
Only 2 days ago, 3 of the officers charged in the beating surrendered to assault charges. That sparked a protest by 500 fellow officers pointing out they also wear blue. And the head of the police union gave his thoughts on those who beat Delbert Africa.
What they should have done is shot that goddamn bum, and then there would have been no trouble today.
Immediately after the August 8th incident, the police claimed that MOVE fired the first shot from MOVE headquarters.
But they didn't have any proof that anybody shot out of the MOVE housing, but somebody shot and people started shooting.
Television news reporters Richard Maloney and Larry Rosen claimed that they recalled hearing a shot on the opposite side of the street.
It was my recollection that the shot came from behind, because when the shot was fired, everybody turned this way. And so they turned their focus away from the windows where the armed MOVE members were, the basement windows where the armed MOVE members were. A number of independent observers, those with the police as well as those not with the police, and journalists and others have contended that the first shot came from behind the assembled police officers and not out of the basement of the MOVE compound.
The August 8th newspaper, this was like not even hours after the police attack on MOVE and MOVE people being arrested. Front page of the Philadelphia Daily News. Oh my God, they shot a cop. Who shot a cop? You know? I mean, there had been no trial. MOVE people hadn't even been processed on charges yet. And the news media on the front page of the newspaper had them tried and convicted. Oh my God, they shot a cop.
At every step of the way, including the final act today, the police used commendable restraint, and it was done for many reasons, most of all because of the children who are present today. The police probably would have been